Shalom Akim. I'm gonna give all praises and glory to Yahweh Bashem, Yahushai Bashem, Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS who teach and rule well, and salutations to all the Akim and all folk on this earth who's pushing his truth and sincerity. Shalom Akim. I want to get into this little article I found. It caught my eye. It said the entire town is littered with bodies. Now Ukrainians suffered a humiliating defeat in Solidar after a relentless Russian assault. So these type of events and news clippings you're not going to see on your average 4, 5, 6 o'clock news, and then comes back on at 9 o'clock. You know, they're going to feed you follies. They're going to give you the first minute or two of the niggas who just got shot down the street. And after that, they go off into La La Land of BS, of Babylonian BS, a spew of Babylonian BS. That's all they do. You know, where one of the gyms I go to, I see a reporter who's on one of these top channels. It's either 5 or 7, you know, and he's their anchor, you know, and he walks around with a real pompous spirit because everybody knows him, and, you know, everybody speaks to him and stuff. And then he sees me, you know, and I'm, you know, no smile, no laughter, no fun, you know, and you know, he tries to strike it up, but you know, you're misleading the people. I know who you are. I know what you're doing. You're wicked, man. You know, but at the end of the day, like I was saying, that the Americans are being dumbed down with the information they're getting about what's going on over there. I've been hearing for quite some time about the different towns getting just decimated, wiped out. You know, and all you'll see over here is commercials running for Ukraine, and kids getting, you know, looking jacked up and send money, you know. So Esau plays on these people's weakness, man. You know, he knows what he's doing. Just like when I was a kid growing up, they would put these goddamn commercials with these dogs with half his head off or the back of his legs, and they got a wheelchair on him. He running around like he happy, man. Ain't nothing happy about that, man. You know, y'all done something to these damn animals and jacked them up, and now you trying to, you know, build something to make them be better and stuff like that. You know, this devil, don't trust this devil, man. Let me get into this article though, man, because like I say, we don't know what's going on over there in Ukraine, other than when you look into some of these other alternative newses, and they'll tell you and show you, you know, their side of things is going on. You know. It says fighters from the Wagner Group have completely surrounded the Donetsk town of Solidar and are now clearing the extensive tunnel network in its town's salt mines. The head of private military company, EO Progny's claimed. And you see, that's what I'm saying. This is this is what we call a proxy war. You also have these different military groups that are over there too as well. The Wagner Group. You know, I had to do some research. This is a group that I'm gonna read some more in the article. It's gonna talk about it, but these are paid soldiers, man. You know, paid mercenaries, man. You know, and at the end of the day, Ukraine is right next to Russia, and I always bring it out. You know, and those of us that are old enough to know that the fall of the Soviet Union, what happened when Mikhail Gorbachev got his house surrounded by those Russian tanks when they were coming up the hill trying to come get him, and all of a sudden a helicopter pulls in there and gets him out of there, and he gone. And what happens the next few days is you have something called the fall of the Soviet Union. USSR fell apart, man. You know, that's what I should have said. USSR. Soviet Union was inside, but USSR was the bigger branch, man, and they had multiple countries that were paying taxes to them, even though USSR allowed them to probably have their own independent name, you know. But at the end of the day, you know, everything you're tributary to us, you know, and that's just the way it is, man. A lot of these countries, you know, are deal with the old rules and ways, man. You're tributary, you owe us. Haiti still has to pay to France, even though Haiti beat the shit out of France in the war, the Haitian Revolution, man. You know, other countries, you know, what island down there? Just I want to say Barbados, just supposedly got independence, but we all know that these islands are owned by either France, Spain, or England, man. You know, These are the major powers in the world right now, man. You know, and those, well, back in the day, I should say, you know, and those were the ones that carved up, you know, the world. You could throw 2 or 3 other countries in there, you know, for the most part. Germany was another one of the smallest. And you have the pig nations, whether it be Portugal, you know, and some of these other smaller nations. They all had a hand in us coming down. They all had a hand in jacking us up, man. You know, you Israelites, man. But at the end of the day, the point I was making was that the USSR, you know, at one point, you know, they were the big dogs, and it's like you had to pay to them. And so now what's going on is, you know, this brother against brother. Let me bring this up, Matthew 24:7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. And this is nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom, man. You know, these are Edomites against Edomites, man. And like I said, at one time, you know, before, you know, the Lord put the spirit on these Edomites to go ahead and rev them up, you know, during when did that happen? I want to say the fall happened around, I want to say that fall Soviet happened around 88. And then after that came the fall of, I want to say the wall in Germany came down around that time too. Probably a year after that. But these Edomites, yeah, they were going at it with each other, man. They were always subjugating one to another, man. You know, there ain't nothing new for them. But yeah, I brought this out because, like I say, so in here I want to go down to these parts. They're saying how they're slaughtering the soldiers, and how they had surrounded 500 troops, and they were killing them, and they were putting bodies on top of bodies and stuff over in this town. But this is the key part. This is what I wanted to get into, because one thing about this war over there, you know, Ukraine has a lot of natural resources. Russia does too, but Ukraine is also a major factor in the natural resource game, because I've done reports earlier this year about how they have something called topsoil over there. You know, and topsoil is one of the most, it has a lot of nitrogen in it for plants to grow super fast and super juicy and rich, man. You know, they also have something called these salt mines over there. You know, and if you know anything about salt, man, salt is makes the world go around, man. People, some of these Edomite nations will go to war. They went to war over spices. Google search some of these spice wars that they had back in the day. You know, Esau, the people, period, man, they need their spices, man. You know, and that's a resource that they're willing to go to war over, spices. And yeah, so this salt mine right here, you know, and that's, you know, like I say, the veggies that come out of Ukraine, the salt, you got natural gases that come out of Ukraine. You also got natural gases that come out of Russia, you know. So these Russia and Ukraine are major players in the world factor, even though here in the States they're playing it as just the donating, and then, you know, then they'll play it off like they don't want to show you what's going on over there. But it's a lot more than what meets the eye, you know. And let me read some more, just because some of these troops over there were saying that they don't want to wait until they this was a long article. This was one of the longest I was started to read. They say that the troops don't want to wait for the draft. They said they're going to jump into this battle now. They also said that some of these this Wagner group was picking up the jail people, man. They were getting people out of jail, man. So this is an all-out battle, man. They getting any able body right now, before they could hit that button for the draft. They picking them up, man. You know, and they're destroying these different towns through the way in Ukraine. You know, like I said earlier, I've seen pictures, you know, of whole towns decimated. I've seen people still trying to live in half of the buildings. You know, one half of the building is open, the other half is, you know, is still closed. But, you know, you had one guy walking down the street, an old guy about in the 60s or 70 year older. He had shrapnel hanging from his head because the missile then came through, and he's shaking and shit, man. So these people, they you know, the Lord is unleashing on them, man. You know, because they're neighbor versus neighbor, man, brother versus brother, man. What happened to that love, man? You know, y'all were a stone's throw away from each other, and now y'all just all out battling each other, you know. But that's what the scriptures speak about, man. You know, Matthew 24:7, man. Let me bring this out. This is Psalm 107 and Slaki. 107 and 34. No, I'm starting 33 because it's adds on to what the Lord's doing, man. He turned the rivers into wilderness and the water springs into dry ground, a fruitful land into barrenness for the wickedness of them that dwell therein, man. You know, so these places is getting shot down and they're not having nothing happy over there. I've seen pictures of them underground trying to celebrate the holidays. You know, they had an orchestra down there. They're living in the subways. They got train carts they're using as their houses. They got their cats and dogs down there. You know, they're trying to continue life as usual, man. But the Lord is bearing that land. He's taking things away from them, man. You know, all that happiness is being taken away from them. You know, I just wanted to bring this out, man. I seen this because this is the real things that's going on. And here's a picture, you know, not too sure what's going on there, but yeah, the news ain't gonna tell you what's really going on. And we come to find out we have this Wagner group. I got to do a video on that because I'm just getting information on that. I've heard of the other soldiers of fortune over there, but now I'm getting names and connecting generals and names to who they are, man. Look at the Wagner PM assault units, you know. But with that being said, this is edifying. Shalom, Akim.